Good day to you. Good day to each one of you. We are now in the fifth Sunday of Lent, and it is good to reflect now the gospel because it helps us to realize that we are near already to our destination of our journey of this season of Lent. Because this coming Sunday, we will be celebrating the Palm Sunday, and it's the beginning of the Holy Week. At the same time, we are also near to the most important event in the liturgical calendar of the church, the Easter season. We know that we are Easter people, and all of us are called to be a people with hope. And now we go to the gospel and to the readings of this Sunday. And it is good to note that these readings, especially the gospel, it help us to realize our own sinfulness, that acknowledging that we are also sinners. And it's also good to note that in our gospel and our readings, it helps us to reflect about ourselves. It helps us to reflect who we are right now. And I hope these readings of the liturgy of today will help us to realize the importance of self examination. That's why let us examine ourselves, let us look at ourselves so that we can arrive safely, we can arrive joyfully to our destination that is in heaven, of course. And as we prepare this season of Lent, we are preparing for the Easter. And we see in the Gospel of today about the attitude of Jesus towards the crowd, towards the authorities, and towards the woman. What is the attitude of Jesus? The attitude of Jesus is very clear that he doesn't condemn any of us, he doesn't condemn any of them. The answer of Jesus is a clever answer, is a wise answer. And I think it is good to tell also to ourselves, let us examine ourselves those words of Jesus that uh, if we do not have any sin, so therefore let us not condemn others. Okay, so Jesus would remind again and again each one of us that we need God, we need forgiveness, and we must not give any easy, or we can say easy, judgment to others. Because oftentimes in our life as people, as Christians, as Catholics, there's a one thing that sometimes I think is like a sickness. Oftentimes it is like a pride. This is a sickness of pride. We see in the beginning of the history, even the history of salvation, on how God really stopped that pride to humanity. We see in the traditions of the church in the stories, the story of what Lucifer, why he fall, why he changed his life, he fall into darkness. Why? Because of pride. And why Adam and Eve fall? Because of pride. And in the gospel of today, the people, especially the authorities, wanted to trap Jesus. You see, they want to trap Jesus. Why? Because so that they have a judgment. We could say there's a accusation, a case, so that they can have a case, so that they can condemn Jesus. You see, the intention is very wrong. The intention is bad. Why? Because they only test Jesus so that they can do bad things to Jesus. And sometimes it is also true to us, especially for us that as we Catholics sometimes we accustomed to, because of pride, we want to test others. We want to make false accusations, false stories, false we could say gossips towards others, so that we can trap others and people would fall down. And that is very bad. Okay? And I think this is important that Jesus is reminding us today as a reflection. And oftentimes we tend to accuse others. Why? Because of pride, because of self righteousness. And as Catholics and Christians, I think is not part of our vocabulary that we stop accusing others falsely. We will stop gossiping so that we can be open to the grace and to the spirit and to the love of Jesus. Now let us see on the readings, because especially in the gospel, because we see the attitude of Jesus, we see the words of Jesus. And what is the attitude of Jesus? And I think I would like to take note the attitude of Jesus. He said in one thing that he said, one thing that he do is that he says, Jesus look up to them and tell them, if you do not have the sin, let us the first it let us it is the one you would throw the stone to the woman. He looked up to them. See, Jesus' attitude, he looked up, meaning you are worthy. Yes, you have these sins, but don't condemn others. And remember that our past doesn't define us. Don't be trapped that we live in the past only. We must move forward. We go for the future. Yes, we look up at the past to learn lessons, but don't be stuck in the past. We must move forward so that we can follow the path of holiness towards Jesus. That's why, my dear brothers and sisters, this is important. You see, Jesus looked up the crowd. He doesn't condemn the crowd, but he looked up to them. And the attitude of Jesus it means that they are they have this value. They have this worthiness that hey, don't condemn others. Yes, you are righteous, but don't look to the woman only because he is caught in adultery. Remember that yes, this woman is caught in adultery, but probably you are more sinful than this woman because you haven't caught. But the most important thing is Jesus give the value, he give them the worthiness, he look up to them. And then what's the attitude of Jesus also to the woman? Jesus' action to the woman is that he looked up to the woman also. Why? Because despite of the sin of the woman, Jesus gives this important aspect of the dignity of the person. And the dignity of the person will help the person to recover and to change his way towards goodness of his or her life. You see, we see the woman. Jesus looked up the woman. Jesus looked up the crowd so that they would see their dignity, and the dignity of them would help them to recover and to realize that they need God and the past doesn't define them. Look at in the first reading in the book of prophet Isaiah. It says, we have this past, but let us forget the past because everything will be renewed in God. They have been exiled in Babylon. And now God give them the promise. Yes, look up the past, but don't stay in the past. Hey, we will do something to liberate you. We are here to, I am here, the Lord God should say, I am here to give you the salvation. That's why, see, in the first reading, the Lord is reminding the people of Israel to look up again to God. They need Jesus, they need God. And the past is past. Yes, they must learn from the past, but they must change their ways so that they can have the newness of life. Okay, that's why even Saint Paul in the second reading, it tells us that yes, Saint Paul has the past, but he has been liberated by God. Okay, and Saint Paul, through Christ, he said that everything is a rubbish for me, but because I knew Christ, everything there's this everything is becoming new. to become a new person. That's why St. Paul becomes a new person because of Christ. He doesn't stick on the past. He live in the present and to the future. Why? Because he have now the grace of Jesus Christ. He have Christ. That's why it is through faith, according to St. Paul, that I am justified. And I think this is important to each one of us. As we journey this season of Lent, the Lord is asking us not to condemn others, not to pass judgment easily. Look at ourselves first. We pinpoint our finger to others, but forgetting the three is we are pinpointing to ourselves. So, my dear brothers and sisters, this is important as we journey and as we enter now to the most sacred time of the liturgical year of our calendar. Let us see ourselves. How far am I now in my spiritual life? Am I growing or not? And as we journey this season of Lent, it's important that we need to examine ourselves again and again. And as we approach the sacraments, especially the sacrament of reconciliation, let us ask God to help us to open our hearts and our minds so that we can continue to live a devout and faithful life in Jesus. So, my dear brothers and sisters, thank you for your participation. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. And I hope to subscribe, share, and click the bell button so that you will be updated to my videos. So thank you and may God bless you all. Thank you and God bless.